Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steph and this is Ordinary Plant Girl. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you are returning, thank you so much for spending more of your time with me. Well, it is September. I'm actually filming this on September 1st. With any luck, you will either see it tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not quite sure yet, but that means that summer is coming to an end. With summer coming to an end, that means that it's time for me to do my summer favorites, which is what we are here for today. So if that is something you are interested in, please stick around. Okay, so today it was actually kind of hard to pick my favorites that I am constantly looking at, paying attention to, anything like that. With this season's favorites, it was really hard because summer is the height of the growing season. So I had a lot that were doing things for me, so I actually had to narrow it down quite a bit to pick some that just stood out more than the... So I do have 7 plants today, and we're gonna get started with the first one. This one is relatively new to me. I did just get it in June of this year, but it's one that I have had twice before and could not successfully grow. And this time I'm hoping that the third time is the charm, and so far so good. And that is my lemon lime Maranta. I do love the Maranta species. I think the lemon lime is probably my favorite. So this plant was quite small when I got it. Not that it's overly big, but it has grown quite a bit since I've had it. So this is one of the newest leaves that it's put out, and over here on this vine we have another new one that's coming out as well. I'm to the point where, being that it's the end of summer, I do take a last run of propagations before fall and winter sets in, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to propagate this one because I do want a fuller plant. That is my main objective with pretty much any of my plant collection, is to have just a full beautiful plant if the type of plant warrants that. And this one is going to be the same. I have seen some really beautiful ones that are just cascading, and they're just gorgeous. And the lemon lime has definitely got the colors that I like to see in a big bushy plant. So seeing as I have only had it in 2 months, maybe, we're doing pretty good. I'm hoping it stays that way over winter. I think that these are the only ones that I will actually have that will die back over winter and then grow full in the spring. I'm hoping that that doesn't so much happen this year, especially with this one, because it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back for me. But we're gonna make sure that it just hopefully lives its most best, healthiest life with me, and I will keep you guys updated on what that could possibly look like, because we know this is me and everything could just end up going horribly wrong. So this is my lemon lime Maranta. Next up is one that I got from Jungle Flowers Canada last July of 2022. I got this from Grania at Jungle Flowers Canada, and I had reached out to her because I saw one of her videos where she was showing this plant, and I was asking about cuttings, and she graciously sent me a cutting of that and more, which I do still need to update you on. But that is my Hoya Jennifer. So here she is here. When I got her, she only had, I think, I can't remember if it was both of them, definitely had this leaf right here when I got her. I think this one was with it. I'm just trying to remember if it was a 1 or 2 leaf cutting that I got. I think it was 2. But since then, everything else that has grown has been in my care. So with me and my plants, for me, if you're new here, my plants don't grow at accelerated rates. I occasionally use a humidifier in the winter if the humidity gets way too low. I don't have greenhouse cabinets, I don't have tents, I don't have anything like that. These guys just have to find a spot that they are in and try and survive. And that, it took this one a little bit. I did have to root it at first, and I'm very happy with the growth that I've gotten, and you can see that this here is still currently growing, this new vine. And it actually has, oh, I don't know if you can see it there. Let's see if we can get in there. There's a little tiny baby leaf that's growing in there too. I have come to a point with my Hoyas where I'm not a huge fan of trellising them. So the Hoyas that I have, most of them are going to cascade. I think I have three. I have 3 that are currently on trellises that will probably stay on trellises, and that's it. Everything else is going to have to survive just hanging and cascading, because that's what I want, is full pots. This is another one that I am going to be propagating so that I can make a fuller plant. There's been enough growth now where I can do that. I'm excited to see what a fuller pot of the Hoya Jennifer would look like. So this one sits in a west-facing window, and it doesn't get direct sunlight until later on in the evening, and it's really only for about 20 minutes as the sun's setting, because I'm in the basement and there's a deck over top. So it's bright, but it's not getting direct sunlight, which is absolutely fine with me. And they seem happy being in that window. So that is my Hoya Jennifer. This next one is a cutting I also got in 2022 that I've actually had quite a bit of a struggle with, which is surprising because it's a Syngonium. And that is my Syngonium erythrophyllum. It is such a beautiful plant. I don't know why I've had so much trouble with it, but it's one of those Syngoniums that doesn't look like a traditional Syngonium. Now, one of the things I'm not sure what I should do with is, should I trellis this or should I let it hang? I'm gonna have to do some more research and see how other people are growing them. I like the way it looks when it hangs, but is it supposed to? Is my question. I've seen other, like, just household Syngoniums that also, some people have had hanging, some people have trellised, and I feel like this would be really cool if it was like a cascading Syngonium. So again, I will propagate this once I get to a point where it doesn't have new growth coming in, because you can see right there that there is a new leaf coming in too. So that'll probably happen closer to the end of September is probably when I'll start taking those propagations, just to make sure. I mean, as it is right now, I have propagations that I have to pot up to make room for more propagations. So that will be an upcoming video. But this one sits, it actually doesn't sit in a window at all. It's not really under a grow light. I do have grow lights in my ceiling lights there. I've got track lighting that I've got grow lights in, but this is probably 8 feet away from that. And it's not growing extremely fast. I did find that if I had it in higher light, the leaves would bleach. So I have it sitting on my bookshelf. It's just kind of in a corner little nook, and it just gets the ambient light from the room. So far so good. It doesn't seem to be doing too badly. I've only lost a couple of leaves off of it, and they were both back here. I lost those ones. So I'm going to take a look into how I should possibly grow this one. It doesn't even have a lot for roots that I can see. Like, you can see them all kind of crowded at the bottom, circling each other, but there's no roots anywhere else up in the medium. So I don't know. I don't know if that means anything or not. If it does, let me know. But maybe it just means that I can leave it in this pot for a while longer. I'm not actually planning on repotting it or anything, just propagating it. So that is the Syngonium erythrophyllum. Okay, this next one I've actually had since about November of 2023, but this is the first year that it has started to give me significant growth, and I have absolutely no idea why. I can tell you though that this is my Begonia Medora. I do just have it on this little trellis I made. This plant and all of my begonias, it's not this one specifically, but I've had, just like my ficuses, if you put a begonia in a place that it loves and then you move it, it has a fit. So begonias to me are real divas, especially the cane begonias. My Rex begonias have been okay. My cane begonias, they're a little bit of work, and that's okay. This one took a while to actually establish itself to the point where it just wanted to grow. And I swear, as soon as I attached it to this trellis, like all of this here, just this little bit right here, all of that is new. You can see that it's reaching for the light. The bookshelf that I have my Erythrophyllum, it's sitting in a cubby. This sits on top of that, so it's stretching out and reaching towards light. I've now put all of my begonias there. Because I did have them in windows and they would grow, and then the leaves, for some reason, and I don't know why this is, if anybody else knows, it happens mainly with my Sophie Cecile, but right in here where the petiole meets the leaf, it's like the leaf will rot. I don't know if that's a too much water thing. I don't know why that happens, but it wasn't as bad as what happens to my Sophie Cecile. So I don't know if I don't know what is going on with that. But this one has been nothing but a hard worker since it finally established itself. So the fact that I have had this about 3 years, and this is as far as we've gotten, is like, this is great for this begonia. It did have 2 stems, one died off here in the bottom, and that was another part of the problem. But now I think I did try to propagate this one too, and it just didn't work. When it comes to propagating cane begonias, I'm not the best at it. I can admit that. But I do love this one the way it is. So this is number 4. Yes, this is favorite number 4, the Begonia Medora. This next one, I don't show very much on my channel at all. As a matter of fact, everything you've seen so far, I don't actually show on my channel very much. I do need to change that and, you know, start showing more of the collection that I have. So that is one of my objectives going forward. But this one here, I got, I think it was my first trade with my plant friend Louise. And it took a while for this one to get going. But this is my Scindapsus trubii Moonlight. So my Scindapsus collection is starting to get bigger. I have quite a few now. And I do love them. I love the Scindapsuses, I love the Pothos, but this one particularly, I think I do have to say that this is probably my favorite leaf because it's so chubby. I love the markings on this one. I love the green. I love the way the silver sits on the leaves. It took a long time for this one to establish itself for me, partially my fault. Because I spent way too much time moving it and repotting it, and I had a point where I was putting everything into pots that were too big for them, and then I had to downsize. But I have had this one for 3 years now, and I have been cutting it back. I have been taking propagations. I think I currently have another propagation I have to put in here, but I'm slowly and surely trying to make this a fuller plant. This stem here would have been much longer, but I did cut it here, and before that I actually cut it up here. So, and those 2 that I took off it are right here. So it's one of those things where I'm very patient. I'm patient when I'm trying to establish something. It took for my Scindapsuses in general, anything that I had a cutting of, it took a really long time for them to root. I think I've figured it out now though. They're starting to root faster for me. I've just changed that whole situation. But I'm hoping that the next time you see this plant, that it is going to be completely full. But I do love the way it sits like this. So it does sit on a shelf in front of, like directly in front of my track light and grow lights. It's getting the best of everything. Just sitting up there, and it's not demanding at all. Where other ones you start to curl when they're dehydrated, I don't find that I have the same problem with this. It's just such an easy, low maintenance plant that there's nothing bad I can say about it, but it is definitely one of my favorites. And even though it is 3 years old, I'm hoping in another 3 years, it will just be huge. But we'll see how that goes. So that is my Scindapsus trubii Moonlight. This next one, which you can see a partial leaf here for, is my Monstera subpinnata. Now, as you can see, we have got a serious amount of legginess here. I have tried to propagate this plant on more than one occasion, and the propagation process is long, and then they're okay until I pot them into soil, and then I would lose them. What I had tried to do was propagate this plant and then plant it in the base just to cover this lengthy stem here. And just nothing I have done has worked out that way when it comes to this. I do have it attached to this stake. It's not attached by its aerial roots, and that is really not the purpose of why I put it there. I didn't want it to attach to the roots. I just wanted something to keep it upright because it's like this. Maybe later on I'll try air layering it. I don't really want to touch it because it's quirky to me, and I actually kind of like it that way. I'm used to it that way. Like, this is just, it's just the thing. One other thing that I am toying with is just planting something else in the base that just might be able to wind itself up around the stem here, and just to fill it out some, or I don't know what I'm going to do there. I don't want to mess with this one too much. But you can see, definitely needs to be watered, but you can see here, this is a new leaf. I do love the way the leaves come out. It's such an underrated plant, but it is so hard for me to propagate. That is probably just a me thing, but it's very hard for me to propagate. So I'm just gonna let it grow the way it wants to. I'm not gonna put any pressure on it to be anything other than it is. When did I get this one? 3 years ago, I think. No, 2 years ago. I got this one in 2021. I'm okay with the way it is. It is one of my favorites because I'm constantly looking at it, constantly watching it, and sometimes I'll even just laugh at how weird it looks. But I don't know. I don't know if I should I'll probably just leave it like this. I probably won't mess with it too much. I might try air layering it later on down the road. I hope that that works. I don't do much air layering, so it would definitely be an experiment on my part. Because I have a feeling that if I cut these off of this stem, I am pretty sure that this plant will just die, and I don't want that. So anyway, this is my Monstera subpinnata. Last but not least, my favorites list would not be my favorites list if it did not include a philodendron. Are you surprised that my favorites list doesn't actually include an anthurium this time? Did you notice that? Yeah, I did that on purpose. But this last one is one that I have increasingly grown very fond of. I'm surprised in the conditions that I put it in that it actually still survives. But that is my Philodendron gloriosum dark form. So that's this little beauty right here. There is a new leaf that is coming out here. It hasn't unfurled yet. I should probably mist it because knowing me, I'll forget, it'll rot, it'll die. That's just the way things go. I did have a bit of an issue with spotting on the leaves. I don't know what the spots are from, but it only showed up on that one leaf, and that was it. But let's see if I can show you. So if you can see this here, you can see those spots on the leaf. I did think that it was from the Ectoflora nectaries, but I don't see any sign of that. Now, if you're also surprised that I have this in terracotta, I'm still surprised at that myself, but the only reason why it's in terracotta is because I had run out of long pots to put them in. But this one is doing surprisingly well. I also noticed that I'm really hyper focused on it because it's in terracotta. So at the first sign of anything going wrong, I will rip this out of here so fast, it would make your head spin. But so far, so good. I am definitely trying to keep an eye on it and make sure that it survives. And the fact that I have new growth coming, I mean, that's got to be a good sign, right? So I think we're doing okay. But that is my Philodendron gloriosum duck form. Now that I have done all of that, I'm just going to sit this one on my lap here. With the end of summer coming, there's going to be a lot of fall prep going on. Like I said before, there will be fall propagations that I will be doing, and I do have plants outside that I need to transition inside. And over the summer, I was gifted a colocasia, and it is huge. I don't even know where I'm going to put that, but it's going to have to come in the house. And I have to repot it before it comes in the house, so that's going to be great. But yeah, it's just these are my summer favorites. At the end of the fall, you'll see what plants I had during that season that are my favorites, and I hope that you guys are still here with me for that. So with that being said, I hope you're all safe and well. Please like and consider subscribing to my channel. Leave any comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.